In finding mushrooms in the field, after a little bit of experience, you'll notice that certain mushrooms and related fungi, related fruiting bodies, occur underneath or associated with certain tree species. There is a good reason for this, and this is primarily because they form a symbiotic association with the roots of these trees. This is an association, a symbiotic association called a mycorrhiza, and in this particular instance, we're looking at a agaric or a mushroom that is growing at the base of this oak tree. It's a good leaf to show you what we're looking at here. And if we pull this mushroom up and take a look at it, this is a mushroom in the genus Cortinarius. One of the characteristics is the annulus, which is kind of cobwebbing-like. That's forming a protective structure initially over the gills, and that will eventually break away, such as you're seeing there. Remember now that most of the fungus, about 90% as far as we can determine, is underground or in a substrate like a log. In this particular case, we're talking about the mycelium or the hyphae of this particular fungus underground, forming this symbiotic association, this ectomycorrhiza. This, of course, is the reproductive body, which is there primarily to produce spores on the sides of these gills, which is then wind blown away. We find that in some cases, these mycorrhizal fungi are what we call host-specific, in that they will be found and form ectomycorrhizae only with certain tree species. This particular species here forms ectomycorrhizae with oak species. We have others in different genera that form mycorrhizae with conifers, for example, only with pines, some only with firs, some only with larch. There are quite a number of tree species that form ectomycorrhizae, and there's another type of symbiosis in which the reproductive component is subterranean, and it's a different group of fungi altogether. So the mushroom group is very interesting in many respects, not the least of which is this mutualistic type of symbiosis called an ectomycorrhizae. For those of you who like to gather mushrooms for eating purposes, you'll find that certain of our fungi, mushrooms, the fleshy poroid fungi, the boletes, are associated with certain species. And for example, Boletus edulis, one of the real sought after delicacies of our forest, seems to be primarily associated with oaks in some regions and with pines in others. We have any number of examples of this.